forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. I think we conflate those two ideas, and we think because there needs to be forgiveness, that reconciliation, that is the coming back together part, has to happen. And that's not always the way that it happens. Sometimes you're forgiving somebody who's dead and gone. And so the reconciliation part may never happen. The kind of unburdening, that you are willing to let go of this bag, this heavy burden that you're carrying. And sometimes you'll be able to reconcile, come back together. And sometimes you have to make a decision to make space between you and that other person. And that's okay. And I only want to end with that because I was never told that that was okay. Um, I was told that forgiveness and reconciliation, I was raised to believe that forgiveness and reconciliation are the exact same thing. And if you can't do both, then it's really not forgiveness. And I now recognize that, that idea, um, is problematic for a number of reasons that we can't get into. And it grew out of this desire to be open and share something with my children about my past and the legacy that I hope to pass on to them, and what I hope that they will continue to offer to the next generation of Kafars.
I did a similar thing with my daughter in particular. Um, we focus a lot on the the rite of passage that happens for young people.
Mm,
And what I'd love for us to do more of is focusing on the rite of passage for ourselves as our young people are getting older,
mm,
because that was an incredible gift that you gave to your children, which is you're getting ready to step into a new season of your life. I'm going to bring your history to completion so that you truly know where you've come from
hmm.
and who I am.
Yeah.
When my
Yes.
daughter had my granddaughter, Emma, I think Emma was an infant. Before my daughter, Jessica, went into full parenting, I wanted her to have the opportunity to heal anything from her childhood
Mm,
that she needed or wanted to get resolved. May we all find that thing,
mm.
may we all find that thing that our intelligence connects to, that thing that awakens our intelligence,
Yeah.
because we all have it
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we often find ourselves in a situation where we're surrounded by people whose brains function different than ours. And those kinds of brains are being rewarded for the way they function. And so we feel, bad just because it doesn't work that way. But if you find the right context, for yourself, then success is around the corner. Because every that little just getting that B in that class made me stop and go, I'm not stupid. Huh. This was just a problem because I was thinking about it this way. But if I turn my academic experience into images, then maybe I can succeed in these other areas too. And there was a a counselor at my junior college. I'll never forget her. Her name was Maria Romo. She is the one that really helped me figure out these other strategies, for learning. So I went from 0.65 in high school to being on the dean's list, in junior college, and then transferring over because of my grades to the state college, and then going on to Yale after that. So, that would have never happened if I hadn't found, that linchpin, and that was, visual intelligence.
Yeah, I appreciate that you remember each one of those kind of marker points,
Oh, for sure.
because it's kind of the breadcrumbs to where you are today and um what you've been able to accomplish as a man,
Yeah.
as a creative, and as a father, and and a husband. That's amazing, because a lot of times we try to forget that, like back in that, that's not who I am now, so I'm just going to act like that didn't happen.
No, no. I mean, I've sat down and just made a list of the saints in my life, and when they came in for their particular rescue mission. Um, and so I think about this a lot. And Maria was definitely one of those saints. My wife was one of those saints. That's important to me, and that is again something that I share with my sons a lot. Is I am not the same person now that I was then. I mean, my son and I have been talking about this recently. You know, um, the person that you are when you enter into college, and by the time you have kids or something, hopefully, hopefully, you
Hopefully.
have evolved. Like,
Yes.
hopefully, you have
More
changed.
than a little bit.
Yeah, but like we sit around and I don't know, we ask 18-year-olds to make decisions, and they have to, but make decisions as though they are aware of what they will be when they are 30. They don't know. Most of the people I know who went to college are doing something very different from what they went to college for. So that tells me that college is about more than just a degree that you leave with. And these are the kinds of conversations that, like, I think my children have internalized at this point.
Yeah. My grandson, Xavier, is going through that process now. And I remind him that there's a lot of pressure, to like make a decision. What do you want to do with the rest of your life? And the truth of the matter is that ask a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old what they want to do with the rest of their life. And they may know, knowing what you, and I didn't use this language, but I'm paraphrasing, knowing where your intelligence is,
Mm,
that's the goal. Like,
mm,
figure out what you're good at, what makes you feel alive. I literally had this conversation. As a parent, we, yes, focus on the things that our children need to get to the next step, to get to the next season, to exit the season of childhood and to enter the season of adulthood. And understand that your role in that there's this wonderful possibility for you, an opportunity to help that young person to complete their childhood through healing.
mm,
It doesn't have to be this huge, big thing. Sometimes it's the little things,
mm-hmm,
but this is a great opportunity to just kind of sweep things up, whatever they are, understand what that person needs to heal, and to have some forgiveness between you and that young person
yeah.
so that they can go into the world understanding process, understanding healing and forgiveness.
Was this something, what you did with your daughter, was that something that you longed for with you and your mother?
I had it with me and my mother. I had it with my mother. My mother, I think I longed for that with my father more than with my mother.
Ah, 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 ah.
Yeah. My mother was mentally ill. And I lived with my father. And the one thing that I did have with my mother, Matilda Basquiat, is she gave me the ability, she gifted me the ability to ask her anything that I
Mm,
needed to ask her.
mm,
She gave me the ability to ask her the hard questions. She gave me the ability to question the things and the decisions that she made that felt very personal to me, even when they weren't.
mm,
And she stood in what I really appreciate and respect about her. She's passed away, is that she stood in her decisions. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm so sorry I did that. She said, I did what I felt was the right thing to do.
mm,
And she was able to respond to my grief, to my anger, to my rage, to my hurt, to my snippiness with love, with kindness, with patience. And she allowed me to get it out. And she modeled something amazing for me. And this was a woman who was schizophrenic and who really fought through an identity that was placed on her that made her just about a mental illness
mm-hmm,
versus
mm-hmm.
about the human being that she was.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Building with bricks. Wow.